Hey guys, what's going on? Back in with another Warzone video, and it's going to be kind of a quick video. Some of it's going to be more theory or wishful thinking or hoping for what's coming in the new Vanguard Warzone Rebirth map. So if you guys know right now, in Warzone we have Rebirth Island, which is basically kind of like the alternate Battle Royale map. It's smaller, more intense, and before that, it was in Blackout, and it was Alcatraz Island in Blackout, based in San Francisco, and it was Mob of the Dead Zombies map, and they just brought it in Warzone Battle Royale, where you could drop in, and there were zombies in it and stuff like that. And it looks like every game now they're gonna have probably an alternate version of Alcatraz. Again, it was Rebirth Island. Um, so my idea is, and it would perfectly fit kind of the storyline and even the canon that's going on, and even the future games, because it looks very, very similar. If you look at Alcatraz Island over here, it has like a water tower and a smokestack, and you can probably just Google it yourself. You'll see all the kind of the landmarks of Alcatraz. Again, over here, it's kind of an island itself. Has like a smokestack, I guess is what they call it. Again, it has like a lighthouse even, and then it has a water tower that you can drop on. Again, it's been used a couple times now in Call of Duty games, and it's pretty cool. Probably some people's favorite over the regular main Verdansk um, and Verdansk 84 maps. So my idea is, which would actually work out perfectly, um, and it's going to fit the canon very nicely, even for Black Ops 2, is Hanford site looks exactly like how Alcatraz looks like. If you look at some of the layouts, and I had one here, but of course I lost it. Okay, this is probably the best one here. It looks very similar to Alcatraz Island and Rebirth Island. It has like the water tower and the smokestack, and the only thing with this, it sits on the Colorado or the Columbia River or the Colorado River, one of the two. So they could still have some like water in there if they wanted to, but pretty much it doesn't exist anymore in modern times. I think it was kind of like decommissioned and dismantled and torn down. But back in the 1949, which if you saw the new Warzone trailer, it it takes place in 1949, and that is when Hanford site was at its peak, according to some of the websites and stuff like that. If you want to read up on Hanford site, and the reason I mention that too, because it ties into Tranzit and Black Ops 2 storyline. So maybe that'll explain or give some backstory why Transit was in Hanford site and tie in together like Black Ops. And again, you don't even necessarily have to change the layout of Alcatraz, because you can obviously just reskin it, which is fine, because it has like the water tower and it has a smokestack. And I don't think anybody's really going to do what I do in Google and make sure it looks exactly the same. The only thing is, it would be more a little bit landlocked on maybe three sides, so it's not going to be an island like Alcatraz. So they would have to kind of close it off and have like do not enter locations, which would be kind of cool. Maybe they can have like Easter eggs in the distance. Sorry, the wrong one. They can have like maybe Easter eggs in the distance. I don't know if they want to do like any transit or maybe even like the bus. So that would be kind of a really, really cool idea, because again, if you look at it, and I don't want to click on too many of this stuff, but if you just Google Hanford site, it was part of Transit. It was a storyline there. There was some experiments that were done, and this might be the best, one of the best photos there. Like how perfect it would be to kind of, instead of redoing the Alcatraz thing, I don't know how many islands maybe they're going to use. Obviously, they would use an island in the Pacific, kind of like what they're doing with Caldera. And again, just in case you're not familiar, Rebirth is leaving for season one, I believe, coming back maybe in season two. And it's probably the same thing going to be reimagined. They probably have the story going on. But the crazy part is, and I mention this all the time, uh, I know I don't have the credentials, but it'd be kind of cool to work for Treyarch or Call of Duty and come up with ideas for them. because it would work out almost too perfectly, because it would a give an explanation to why maybe in the future Black Ops 2 had Hanford site as one of the transit locations, and then it would still look like or play as Alcatraz, and instead of having like maybe prison cells, maybe you can do like animal testing cages, or um, not necessarily zombie testing, because that would be kind of like almost niche or cliche in a way, and people would probably get like annoyed of zombies or something like that. Or they could just kind of have it like how it looks like World War II, or I mean in the 1980s Rebirth, can have like office buildings and stuff like that, because the layout can be kind of almost the same. All you have to do is necessarily call it. You would have to call it. Um, Hanford site or the B reactor, and this is stuff that I'm sure Treyarch would research. And you can still do some stuff in the ocean on the river, but it made me think like how perfect it would work out if they kind of roped in, if they just make this the same Rebirth Island, or call it, a Hanford site or Site B or B reactor, um, Warzone map, and you drop in. It's the same layout. You just as far as storyline and narrative and canon, that you can just call it, B reactor, B site. Not necessarily, so you're not all stuck in the Pacific, because I know Caldera is going to be in the Pacific. So you're not necessarily stuck in one, you know, part of the world. Let's say you can have where, again, Hanford site was also obviously in Washington State, and maybe you can have it in a different timeline, so you're not all stuck in 1949, but you can still keep it as 1949, because um, if you read the backstory, and I'm not going to go over it because you can just do that yourself, um, it was built for World War II for the nuclear bombs and the Manhattan Project, and then after that, in 1949, it was ramped up. It said, to quote it, or had its peak operation for the Cold War era, where they wanted to have weapons of mass destruction and nukes available just in case, like Russia or Cuba or whatever wanted to go to nuclear war. They would have all their weapons already made and stuff like that. So they already had defeated China and Russia in World War II, and sorry, Japan, Japan and Germany in World War II, and I believe Russia, and they wanted to have some nuclear weapons ready on standby, just in case anybody else wanted to shoot off nukes, mainly Russia, obviously, as you saw in Cold War. So it all fits perfectly. Like, why wouldn't they? And this is where I was saying, like, sometimes it's annoying, and I wish I would have um, made more of an attempt, I guess, to work for Call of Duty or Treyarch. But how cool would it be if they like just make it Hanford site? Like, all you don't even have to like change the layout. Just call it Hanford site. Put it in a desert, and have us drop in, have some Easter eggs. It could be like animal testing and stuff like that. But I know it's kind of late in the game. It's already December, and I don't know when they're gonna release it. Which is funny, because the Rebirth Island actually was announced late in Blackout. Was in April 1st, I believe, is when they released. So if they worked on it and released it around that time, maybe season 2, season 3, it would work. Maybe season 2. I wouldn't really necessarily wait for season 3, but if they did it for season 2, that'd be perfect. Again, you don't even necessarily have to like change the layout or anything like that. If you just kind of call it Hanford site, put it in the desert like this, have the same layout as Alcatraz, maybe do some animal testing or zombie testing and stuff like that, or nuclear stuff like that. It'd be kind of cool. I'm just gonna wrap it up with that. Like I said, this would be like a great idea, and hopefully it's something that they're gonna do. Hopefully they thought ahead, because it would. The only downfall now, to kind of put the shoe on the other foot, I know it's gonna invite some of the toxic zombie YouTubers and content creators, so that might be the only downfall. But most of them aren't going to play it anyways. I think the people that love um, Rebirth Island and Alcatraz Island are going to love it regardless. But it would be really cool to have that. It's crazy how perfect it would fit together because um, again, it was made for World War II or post World War II, and we're also pre-Cold War, and that's the main reason the B reactor Hanford set was created, and they were testing and stuff like that. So they can kind of rope that in and even have it like zombie related in the future for Zombies DLC, or maybe even in Duran Fang and stuff like that. Maybe even make it a location for Duran Fang. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'll see you guys later.